What is going on? Today, I am going to dye some pieces on that interior, pull the old one out, and hopefully get this one in, because I've come up with a bit of a game plan. Ignore my car. Currently out and about getting a couple things to make my plan happen, but check this out. I stitched up a center console lid for the black car. How cool is that? Since there was so much trimming and stuff like that happening, I did this. I'm pretty happy with it. It's my first time actually properly committing and trimming something and that's stitched, but look at that. Anyway, I shall return when I am at home. As expected, everybody's useless. Everywhere I went, didn't have anything. I called, they said they had it. They didn't have it, so I ran around for like an hour. But in the end, I just got two of the Duplicolor vinyl and fabric paint, which isn't the best thing in the world for what I'm gonna do. Actually, I say that because for vinyl and dashboards and pretty much anything that's not super porous, it seems to be awesome. Like I did my Majesta white years ago. The bits I didn't prep didn't stay, but everything else stayed and it was fine. Like didn't flake, anything like that. And I went white over black. So anyway, I'm on the way home. I got a couple of the same dye I was using last time, but black. And I think I actually didn't get the synthetic one, which sucks, but I don't think they had it, so I'll give it a go either way. Black's black. I feel like it's pretty easy to stain something that's porous and orange black, so I shall be home shortly and then we'll get into it. We'll give it a go. We'll see how it all works. I have a lot more confidence that it'll take black dye than it will orange dye, and the end result with those pillars last time was basically nothing. Like it didn't really even seem to change the color. It made everything ever so slightly more orange, but it didn't get rid of the fading. So try a couple different techniques and hopefully we'll get somewhere this time. All right, so home. It's a bit noisy, the fan's on, but I've got all my dyes and stuff. Got the pillars. I'm gonna do another test on these. I'm gonna fill up water bottle with some hot water and a bit of vinegar first and try this before I go crazy and try this. Doesn't really matter because the stuff that I'm going to use is not stuff that I'm going to really be touching, but I do still want it to feel soft just in case. I don't know why. But like I said, worst case scenario, it's going to be all the pillars black and the tops of the dash, tops of the doors. So give this a go anyway, because this will be a lot quicker if this does work, but this will be a lot better of a result. So I'll be back in 2 secs. I'm back. This looks really damaging. It leaks everywhere, but time to give it a test. So it's soaking in, like the material's porous enough that it'll take it, but we will see. What I'll do is I'll get a brush as well, and I'll brush it into all the fibers, and then I'll be back in a minute to get real loud. So this is pretty funny. The stitching must be plastic because the stitching had that cool sparkle to it. And as you can still see the stitching. And this is kind of why I didn't also want to use the vinyl and fabric spray, because I knew that would have changed the color completely. So far, this is all soaking it in, and a lot better than the orange too. Like when I tried the orange, I brushed it and it came straight back out. So I'll let this sit for a minute. I'm going to do the other one because I'm pretty committed. Worst case scenario, I'm going to retrim all the pillars. The seats did end up coming really good, like after they dried and stuff. So I'd be pretty happy to even put them in. They're a tiny bit faded, but fuck, like I said, for what this car is going to be, it's not really going to matter a whole lot. And again, I'm really happy that it actually has kept the shiny stitching because it's a bit different. It's a bit cool. I like it. Alright, so it's super messy. I ended up putting a couple gloves on. But this is the second one I've done. So you can see it's not pitch black yet, but this is the first one I did. I think I didn't really mix this up super well. There was probably still a little bit of straight dye in there. Whereas at this one, I've gone through probably about half of what I made up, a bit over half of what I made up, which was about, it was the whole bottle of this, and it was about 40% water, 10% vinegar, or thereabouts. But like I said, this is pretty cool so far. So I'll let this dry for about half an hour, and then I'll come back over with another coat, brush it in again, and then I'll leave these sit for a while, sort of thing. And then the instructions basically just say rinse out with cold water to get the remaining dye out so it doesn't bleed. like I said, it's not going to be the end of the world. I'm not going to be dyeing anything that I'm really going to be touching except the tops of the doors. So that's going to be the worst case scenario. The tops of the doors I might just trim because they're not stitched, but I did want to keep this stitching in this actual thread as well, because I think it's quite cool. It goes with the rest of it. But the other stuff is, I think from memory, I don't think the tops of the doors are diamond stitched. They could be, but I shall return in a minute. All right, so other than making an absolute mess, this is where we're at. I've done my second coat now. They're both looking pretty good. This one's a lot deeper. Like I said, I think there might have been a bit more dye in this one, so I'll do one more on both after this. But what I'll do now is I'll go get some other bits out of the car, probably the dashboard, and I'll work it out. I need to get the car down, so I'm going to start pulling the interior out of it in a minute as well. I do have these pillars here that I can dye as well, so I might pull these apart so I can get the plastics out of them. I don't think it'll worry it, but it still would be nice to do it without them in there, and then hopefully I've got enough to do everything I need to do. If not, I'll be making another trip to Spotlight. But what I was thinking as well is I can get pretty much the whole interior in anyway, except the dashboard. That's the which is obviously going to be the pain in the ass, but I can have the rest of the interior in before I do that. So seats, door cards, all that sort of stuff's real easy to swap over. Tops of the door cards are another bit that'll be a bit of a pain that I need to do, so I might actually go get those. But yes, I'll work it out and I'll bring some stuff up. I brought these outside. These are actually looking pretty good. Obviously lots of dye on it, sort of thing. I don't know how well it is actually taking to it, which sucks, but now that it's dried a little bit, I'll try to get one more coat on here, brush it around a little bit more, and see how we go. I just realized storing everything is going to be a bit of a nightmare, but I have that box that I put the glass in from the other car. But what I will do as well is I'll chuck all the plastics in that box because it's the biggest box I got until I come up with a better solution. Hopefully have a really good solution coming in the near future, if all goes well. But while I'm here, what I did want to say is the other thing I will be doing, and I already started doing at the front when I was pulling the front end off, getting rid of the fucking airbags, because I want absolutely nothing to do with airbags going off in this car, especially given what it's going to do. It'll just be more hassle than it's worth. Like, it's never going to see the road again, realistically. So all the airbags are coming out of this thing, and the ones that I can't get out are not being hooked up for safety's sake, especially the seat airbags, because I'm not blowing this trim apart if it vibrates too much and sets off a sensor, which I don't think it would, but better safe than sorry, you know what I mean? So not that anybody that actually has one of these or is going to be doing this is going to be watching this, but if you do and you ever need to pull your rear seat out, here's some helpful advice. These clips, these things that hold the seat belts, in the back there, you better see there's a little hole. Basically put a tiny flat blade in there, and that'll release that. So you will snap one of these if you don't do that. I promise you, because they snap really easily. They're super flimsy. But got the back seat out. Got basically all of the trims out, everything. So what I'll do next is I'll get the parcel shelf out, a couple more at the front, and then get the front stuff, visors, handles, all that sort of thing out, so I can get the headliner in, because that's the hardest thing to store. That's the thing I probably want in the car the most, because it's going to be nice and safe in here. And once that's in, it'll be sweet. And then I can just put the rest in, sort of thing. Like I said, that didn't take that long at all. It probably took 15, 20 minutes, maybe. I don't have power tools here. And it's on a hoist, so it makes it a little bit harder. But I've sort of stripped these things a few times now, so it's not the end of the world. But I shall continue. So what I'm doing as well while I wait is a couple of coats of the actual vinyl and fabric paint. Like I said, I don't have much faith in it actually working, but I have had it work heaps of times really well before, just not on actual cloth-y style materials. So far it seems to be taking it, and the cool thing is it's leaving that thread still a little bit shiny, a little bit sparkly, which is nice. I didn't think it'd do that. Once I get another coat or two on it, it might not, but it might also go super crispy and super dry, so we will see. However, the parcel shelf is now out. I'll get these seat belts out as well. These are all seized up too, so I'll have a bit of a look and see if I can work out like what's going on there. Oh, it looks like they're all of a sudden not so seized. These outer ones, yeah, nah, so they're still seized. Probably really hard to see in here, so I'll try not to film too much in here, but yeah, all a little bit annoying, but what can you do? So I'll keep chipping away at it, and once I get these out, hopefully I can find a solution to make these a bit nicer. But because the other seatbelts are super faded, and I probably wouldn't trust them, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure these are recoverable. I feel like the car might have just, it might be a safety thing in them. However, there is a little airbag switch going to them, so that leads me to believe that it is potentially a permanent thing, and I won't have a choice. But to have passengers in the back of this car, I'm pretty sure I'll have to have 4 harnesses in it anyway, and a roll cage. So that's not something I need to worry about right away. So completely opposite what I thought. It didn't take it all, which is a bit annoying. I bet you this bumper's probably going to take it more than this will. This has been drying for hours now, and I just rinsed that corner out. You can see it's basically the exact same colour it was when it was wet before. And that was just wiping this bit off. So even though it looks like it's taken, it hasn't, which is a massive pain in the ass. However, I did do the test with the vinyl spray. It's pretty good. This is after I've also rinsed it, been really hard on it with a brush, and like wet vacked it out a bit, sort of thing. And yeah, see what I mean? Like, that's obviously the wet spot there, and probably a little bit stained now black, but the thread is even still, I don't know, still has a bit of shine to it, so it's not the end of the world. I might do this and then not obviously wet vac it afterwards, just sort of brush it to make it as soft as I can, because the wet vacuum is the only thing that brought out that last little bit of orange. But you can see there's a real hard edge on that, and like I said, I can basically wipe it off the pillars, so, or the A-pillars. So I think that would be my plan of attack for these at least, which is a bit annoying, but well, it's kind of is what it is. Worst case scenario, I can retrim the pillars, like I said. Tops of the doors is not something I really want to do, and neither is the top of the dash. I kind of want to get it all in the car, so it's a bit safer than sitting around. But as far as the interior goes, all the seat belts are out. Those 2 back handles are out. I'll start getting all the front stuff out now. These seats are going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. I'll have to hook a battery up to it to move these around, because they're full electric, obviously. But once I've done that, then I can get them out as well, and then center console, and then it's basically just the dash is the only thing left in the car. Door cards I'm going to count as separate sort of thing. I can kind of do them whenever. Like gauging off my little test here, I'll let that dry a little bit longer, and I'll probably just vinyl dye or spray rather that vinyl paint shit the tops of the door cards. I'm not going to be driving it every day, so the chances it's going to really bother me are pretty slim. It's a bit annoying because the interior was kind of cool, all orange, but I think that's pretty much out of the fucking question now, which sucks. But I mean, it was well and truly out of the question when I started dyeing it black. But having a tiny bit of black ugliness is not going to be the worst thing in the world, if it means it's not going to look as faded and rough. So all right, so I've now got basically every single trim in the car out. Well, yeah, pretty much every trim in the car except one, which is that B-pillar, because I can just unsnap the top for now. I can't really get to the bottom of it because of the seats, there's 2 screws, but I can unsnap the top, I'll get this headrest off, and then the headliner will fall down, and I'll try and maneuver it out of this rear door, because that's the only hole it's going to fit out of. So, one sec. So the jump pack was very flat, but I got the jump pack on there, hooked it up so I could move all the seats around and stuff, because I had to lay the seats pretty much all the way back and then kind of like bow it in half best I could. I haven't actually looked at it yet. I don't think I creased it. Nah, it's a pretty good headliner, so thank fuck I didn't actually crease it at all. There might be that little mark from rubbing on the headrest on the way out, but that's good because none of my cars have sunroofs and the headliners are all the same. I'm pretty positive. So if I ever want to retrim one, I've got one out of the car already, so I don't have to pull it out to trim it, which is nice. But beyond that, what I did while the jump pack was on as well, hence why I was just being real quick, is unbolted the seats. So now front and back are unbolted. I'll get the plugs out, then I can get these out as well. Then I can get to the, now I can get to the other seat bolts down here, get the seat belts out, and like I said, then pretty much all of it is out. And I don't think the dash will take much more to get out. This dash is pretty well rooted, so all I'll do is take the bits off this that I would like to keep, like the spare speaker grills, the spare, what do you call it, the spare heads-up display surround, some of the vent things, pretty much. The rest of it's basically garbage to me. So, like, it's not a recoverable thing, which, end of the day, it's not the end of the world, because I've got a new one now. Alrighty, so pretty much everything's out now. Only the passenger's front seat is still in, and the center console on the dash, obviously. But what I'm going to do quickly is pull these airbags out. I really want to deploy these because I've never deployed an airbag before, and I feel like a curtain airbag would be very interesting to see deploy. But it looks like it's pretty straightforward. It's just a bunch of 10 mils, and it's there's weight reduction. But yeah, it's getting there. I don't know what order I'm going to put this back in, but I know for a fact I will be vacuuming the carpet. The rest of it's pretty good. I don't need a full Bisselet sort of thing. I don't think I'll bother. It's only going to get filthy when I actually start driving it anyway. But yeah, I'll definitely give the carpet a real good vacuum while everything's out of it. Alright, so both airbags are out. All the seats are out. Everything important's out. Everything is out that I need to be out to put the new headliner in. So what I'm going to do first is double check the plugs. These ones here, make sure they're the same. I'm pretty sure the headliners are all the same. So what do we got? Fucking 4, 5, 6, 9, 18 pin and an 18 pin and a fucking huge one. So I'll have a look. Worst case scenario, I can swap this harness over. It's not going to be the end of the world, but I'm pretty sure all trim levels have the same headliner. I don't think anything changes there. This has an air purifier. They all have air purifiers. Nothing spectacular, nothing too different there. So what I'll do, because it's going to get dark in a second, is get this headliner out and carefully get it in, because I don't want to mark this one at all. And this is the reason I want to get it in the car, so it's out of the way, because the safest place for it is going to be in the roof of the car where it belongs. But once that's in, what I'll do after that is probably start getting the dash out, get the center console out rather, get the dash out. The steering column in this is a little bit bent. I'm not actually sure what it is or where it is, but I'm sure it's something I can tweak to be straighter once it's all out. But like I said, I'll get this headliner out now, and then we'll get this in the car. Jonathan, if you're watching this, you got me real good. The wiring harness was pulled off the headliner. It's not the end of the world. I just a little bit of fucking around to try to work out where everything went, but got it all there. So basically what I got to do now is wrestle this back in. Yeah, so that's annoying. This doesn't have rear AC, but it'll just have fake vents there. I've just discovered. I now realize, so that's interesting. Another thing that I just would have totally forgotten about, but makes it look better than it is. Also, the rear seats are split in this in this interior, and they're not in this car. So I'm pretty sure it's all the same mounting and stuff. Just means this had like rear reclining seats and stuff, which won't work. If anything, I'd do what I did to the white car with them and lay them back a little bit, sort of thing. But either way, it's not the end of the world. I know the top two mounts are there, the bottom two are there as well, but just makes it a bit more of a pain to pull the seats in and out. However, I've got all my clips in there, stole some of the clips that I needed, and yeah, it's time to get this in. So luckily, I'm pretty much putting this all in one go. Probably not all tonight, but this weekend, like I said, I want to have pretty much all of it in there, because it's immediately started taking up everything. So that's annoying. The stuff that's coming out of it is probably going to take up less space than what all this stuff will. I'm just being careful with it. I don't really want to stack it. Like, I already felt bad stacking it in the territory. A couple bits have a couple little press marks and stuff, but it's not the end of the world. But I did need to get to this box, which was under everything, which is ridiculous, because this just shows like the extent of it. Like, they've trimmed over these and painted them, and like, it's just insane. But the things I needed were these hold the catch for the sun visors in, and that'll help me hold the headliner in once I get it up in the car. Otherwise it'll just be falling down flat out. So it is time to get it in, and got these things handy, and I'll get Amelia to give me a hand. Playing some Subway Surfers or something like that, I'm thinking. So it is time to get this in. So we got it in enough at least for now, but you're not going to be able to see very well. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, it is very cool, but yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous. So what I'll do now is I'll get all the grab handles and stuff in. I've got the sun visors in to hold it all up. Obviously the pillars and shit I kind of want to leave out for now, but once those grab handles are in, it's not going to be going anywhere anyway, so slowly work around it, get all the lights and the center console thing back in, the center roof console, because that's sick. Fucking, that is so ridiculous. Sort of thing. I wonder how they did that actually. They got rid of the help net thing. Weird. It's not there. Or maybe they didn't. What have they done here? I don't know. They've just painted over everything, but it's cool. I'll allow it. Alrighty, so I'm going out to get some food. There's a few clips and a few bits and pieces missing that'll hopefully show up. Like I'd say, they're just going to be in the bottom of the car somewhere. If not, I'm going to have to fight someone. But for now, I chucked a couple of the other trim bits back in, just so they're in the car because they were sitting around. But fuck, it looks pretty cool, eh? That car looks sick without seats in them, to be honest. But all the headliners back together now. Pretty much all the grab handles are in. They're the clip things that I'm missing mostly. It's looking pretty cool. I put these sort of, what do you even call them? Plastics back in that have been trimmed, of course. I did also check on the A-pillars that I dyed. I'm not very confident. Wiping them now, nothing's coming off, but it might just be because some of the dye is drying on there. I don't know how this shit's actually meant to work. What I will do is bring these inside, let them dry overnight. See, dye still transferring to my hands. Try and give them a rinse out in the morning. I can see the bit that I've wiped is actually not as dark, which is annoying, but yeah, I seriously don't have a whole lot of faith in this. So, and the vinyl and fabric paint that I used did obviously go a bit crunchy, which is not awesome. Yeah, I'm a bit stuck. I just really don't want to put it in faded. I can't say I didn't try, if nothing else, but yeah, I really don't want to put it in faded. So it might be a matter of, it's going to be a little bit crunchy, but until I can really be bothered to retrim the bits, or if I can ever be bothered to retrim the crunchy bits, they'll just stay like that. So I'll have a think about it, but I shall return tomorrow. It's getting a bit late and I'm hungry. Alright, so after heaps of mucking around this morning, the dye did not work at all. It just looks dirty now, so Amelia's wet backing that out. I'm a bit over it, so I'm just using the vinyl and fabric dye on this. I'll show you. It's decent. It just changes the texture. It doesn't feel as nice. It's not as crunchy as I thought it would be, but either way, it just looks a bit ugly. So for the time being, this is going to be fine. Obviously, this pillar is going to live here. You're not really going to be able to see too well, but yeah, it contrasts nicely with the roof. Worst case scenario, I can redo this. I don't really want to, but the only thing that is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass is the dash. and that's not something I'm going to be pulling back out. So I might just live with the dash being a little bit crunchy. That's why I did one of these first, because I can retrim it. I'll let this fully dry, give it a bit of a clean, a wet vac, see if it softens up at all, if it needs a bit more colour. Have a bit of a go. This is mostly just a test to see what I can do for the dash, because like I said, I'm not retrimming the dash. Alright, so the center console is out now. The main airbag sensor, I guess, in the middle of the car is out now. Head unit's out. All that kind of leaves is the column cluster, and then I can pretty much get this dash out. And also I found a 100 yen coin, which is pretty cool, under the seat. So if you ever get an import, pull the seats out, you'll find some cool stuff under them. In my Merc, actually, because my Merc was a Jap import, I found a 1 yen coin under the seat, which was, well, it was like 1 or 10 yen or something. It was pretty cool, but like something I didn't expect to see, obviously, in a Merc, but because it was from Japan. Ta-da. But yeah, you always find random stuff. There's also a bottle of soy sauce next to the seat. So I saw it and I was like, what is this? And I opened it and I was like, oh, I had a hunch, but yeah. All right, so probably an hour and a half later, at least, I got the dashboard out. That is a cunt of a job. That fucking sucks. I have not had to pull one of them out yet, and yeah, it sucks. Like, there's just obviously so many wires going to it and stuff. There's like a few hidden screws and that, but like, I don't know, you just have to pull so much stuff off, and then this antenna thing's definitely a pain in the arse. That is right up under the dash. You have to pull the vents out to get to it. No good. Basically just a terrible time in general. But I got the dash out. I'll probably hoard that in case I ever have heaps of room to and heaps of money to make a sim out of it or something. But what I'll do now is I'll get all the tools out, have a very good clean vacuum while everything's out, because it'll never be this far apart again. Or probably not, hopefully not. But yeah, I was going to sit down for a minute first. Alright, so much to my dismay, I'm going to vinyl dye the dashboard. The B-pillar was okay. It wasn't the best thing ever, but like I said, for the time being, it's going to be fine. It's going to be a lot more presentable than having a super faded dash. I don't really want to ruin this dashboard by doing this, but at the same time, I don't really have another option. And it's not like I touch the dashboard every day sort of thing, so it'll be fine. It'll be better than having a white, at the moment, dashboard reflecting light into my face and all that sort of shit. This is definitely something I could probably retrim. It'd just take a long time and probably be a little bit expensive. So for now, I don't really want to be doing that. So I'll get to dyeing it. So I have terrible news. Probably not that terrible. I've had a shocking afternoon. I'm in the worst mood. Nothing's worked at all. I've got a bunch of the interior in. I'll show you in a second, sort of thing. But my camera is also now basically fucked. So I just played around with it for a bit. Like, I broke it ages ago, or rather it just decided not to work ages ago, and I just sort of had a bit of a look at it again then, because I have had such a shocking afternoon. I didn't really want to do anything. Anyway, what I'm getting to is I tried to put the rear seats in, and I realized that they were from a different trim level. So they're reclining rear seats, and the bracketry is all different. I thought the bracketry, anyway, disregard, but I don't have the brackets to actually mount the rear seats. However, I had a bit of a look and I had a think, and I remember the ute, so this thing that I'm sitting in is actually the higher trim level, and we pulled the rear seats out of it, but it's disgusting in here, but you can see they're the brackets that I need. So this is where I'm at. I've got the dash in. I'm super unhappy with the top of the dash. I ran out of paint and it just wasn't getting any darker, and it's a bit ugly. I can get another can, and for the time being I may as well just get like a couple more, because I want to just get this shit together, do the pillars and stuff. But yeah, so I got it in. It's all mounted again, sort of thing. Like I said, the windscreen's getting replaced, so it's not the end of the world if I get paint on it. I don't really care at this point anyway, because it's fucked. Center console's all in, everything under the dash. I had to repack this airbag thing with this new cover, because it's gone off, sort of thing, but the bracket was all part of what holds the dash in and stuff. Like I said, none of the airbags are hooked up anyway. I will not hook them up. You can see rear seat, most of these sort of side trims and stuff, seat belts. Yeah, just a bunch of other little bits and pieces, like stuff that has pissed me off enough that I don't really want to keep doing it. right now, but I have a 4-day weekend coming up, so I can probably make up for most of it then. But for now, I'm going out to get some ice cream. Alrighty, so I've pulled the hard cover off, and it's time to pull out these brackets. Maybe this, because there's a hole in the parcel shelf, and I mean, I may as well put that in there. Actually, no, I won't. And then these spot welder brackets out of the stinky rat poop ute. So obviously these run under a bit of the factory sound deadening. You can see on the other one there. So I've chipped this off on this side. Currently my camera is working better than it was before, because I was real concerned the other night, and I cannot afford to buy a new camera right now, and I'm a bit too inept to film on my iPhone because I don't have a Mac, so I can't really swap anything onto my computer. Anyway, so we're safe for now, marked safe from broken camera for now. Hopefully it stays that way. I've been super careful with it, but yeah, I'll pull these brackets out. The wiring, I could probably actually still make these recliners work, to be honest, because the wiring's just 2 wires. The funniest thing about all this as well is the fact that fucking I had a spare set of these brackets as well out of the white car that I chucked out, because I was like, when am I ever going to use these? Surprise, now. It's also super late in the day because it's a long weekend. I didn't really feel like doing much this morning, sort of thing, and it's Anzac Day too, so nothing's open either. But anyway, I'll get these out and then transfer these over to the other car. Alright, so all the spot welds are drilled out. These should just pop off. I didn't use a spot weld drill bit. I don't really care to. I'm just going to MIG these back in. This one I might have missed a mark a little bit, sort of thing, but I have definitely missed the mark on this one. Come on. Right, there we go. So those two. See you later. And I'm just going to get this out now. And yeah, like I said, it's just 2 wires, so I will definitely try and wire these up somehow. I don't know, the whole harness is probably not really much of a thing, but anyway, we'll see. Don't really need them anyway. Alrighty, so there's one more bracket for the upper middle seat section that I need to get. So I'll go back and grab that quickly, but I'll show you what we're working with. So I'll bring one of these, right, left, this one's closer, yeah, cool. Alrighty, and you'll see what I mean. So if we get in here, the bottom mounts, so I have to get this seat out of the way. Already had the middle one, which is cool, but anyway, the bottom mounts, I can see where the spot welds are actually meant to go as well, which is cool. You know, somewhere, wrong way around. I don't know, either way, it goes here somewhere. I might have grabbed it the wrong way around, might have grabbed the wrong sides, but I'll tack these in. Maybe I won't tack these in straight away. Either way, I'll do something. But up here, behind this, there should be, a little sticker. And under this little sticker will be, if I am not wrong, I feel like I am correct. There you go, a threaded boss for the recliner brackets, and there'll be a couple more down here. I'll have to trim this all up a little bit. I'll probably just pull this out realistically, but the majority of the stuff should be here for it, so. Alright, so they got me good. There's no studs for the bottom. It's not the end of the world. I'll just drill it out, put a nut and a bolt through it. I don't even seriously think I need to be completely honest. I will, though, just for good measure. It looks like there may be studs for the center bit, which would be cool if there was. There's not either, so that's a bit annoying. Same thing I could nut insert it, or I could do a nut and a bolt up here. But basically the bracket that I need to get looks like that anyway, sort of thing. So a bit annoying. There's a couple things missing. Eye level brake light is probably not going to be a thing anymore until I can be bothered to wire it up, because it's a split parcel shelf, so it looks a bit different. It's not going to be 100%, but it doesn't really need to be. Again, it's not the end of the world. You can't actually even see the eye level brake light because it's got like pitch black tint on it, so very nice. But you can probably see back here, I can't actually get a stud through some of them. I think one of them is in the wheel arch, so oh well. I'll have 3 bolts in either side, but it's still pretty excessive for mounting rear seats, really. Obviously, everyone knows rear seats are usually just clipped in at the top and then fucking like 3 bolts along the bottom, and then the bottom just clips in completely. So it's not the end of the world. The bottom will also be normal, which is cool. I don't have to do anything there. But yeah, I kind of really don't want to fucking drag the MIG all the way up here, even though it's probably not far away at all. It's fucking, yeah, it's like 10 meters away. I'll just do it, and I'll fucking get these welded in, and I'll drill a couple of these things out so I can just put the rear seat in properly. So I've got all the sound deadening chipped away. I've got both these bolted in at the top, nice and tight. And then Dad came home and sort of put a thought in my mind. We're going to be tubbing the rear end. So realistically, when it's tubbed, it's going to be, you know, pretty big tubs. We may as well overdo them. I don't know how much of this is still going to work anyway. So chances are I'll have to make brackets for this, and potentially down the bottom here. Like if you draw a straight line from the wheel arch, you know, there's going to be some modificades happening, sort of thing. It probably won't be that extreme, but I have a good feeling that most of this is not going to be permanent. So before I actually weld anything in, and drill any more holes and whatever, because a lot of this is going to be getting cut out, save myself the hassle, and I'll tech screw these little bottom brackets in. One, I'll know if they're in the right spot. At least I can get the interior together for the time being, so it can be nice and safe and stored in this car. And second of all, there's a good chance I'm going to have to make something else anyway, remove something, some shit like that. So rather than double handling, you know what I mean? But I'm going to have some food quickly. I can't even lie, I actually really like this interior. I've got all the rear together. I don't know, it's so silly, but there's something about it. I don't have the pillars in yet because I haven't painted them, but man, this is someone's dream. Like I said, I actually really do like it though. It's kind of a shame I'm not going to drive this car around much. I mean, if at all, really. But what I'll do from here is I'll put the front seat belts in, and then what was I going to say? I'll put the front seat belts in. I should put some more vinyl down on that dash, just a bit that I can see, because it'll kill me if I don't. Just carefully in the car, because I'm not pulling it back out. And then I can probably put the B pillars on properly and stuff, and then put the front seats in, and then that's pretty much it. Just need to put some of that shit paint on the other pillars and stuff, because that's just what I'm going to run with now, because I can't come up with a better solution. And like I said, I'm not retrimming this interior yet. Maybe one day when I'm lazy, or when I can be bothered to do little pedantic P-plater style things to it, but which I am actually about to do to my daily, just because I want it to be a bit nicer inside. So it's real ironic that I'm saying I'm too lazy to retrim this when I'm about to retrim all the door inserts and the fucking pillars and armrests and shit in that car probably tomorrow. But anyway, we are getting somewhere. This has all been a bit tedious though, so yeah, quite cool. Look at that. I know, we are oh so close to having this whole interior in. However, I don't want to keep making videos that are like 35, 40 minutes long. The average view is like 10 minutes long. I know some of you, probably a majority of you, I mean not a majority of you, but like a bunch of you are watching them all the way through, sort of thing. But I'm going for the under 30 minute mark. So I'm going to wrap this one up here. Next time it's obviously going to be a bit more interior stuff. I'm currently doing another thing on the side with the black car. I've pulled the door inserts off, and I'm going to retrim those just to get a bit of practice in, sort of thing, and maybe the armrest as well. Just give the interior a bit of a freshen up so it feels a bit nicer in there. And like I said, it's always good practice. I'm not fussed about this car as much because it doesn't really owe me anything. And I think it'd be a cool way to touch it up. But anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, because I know you'll be back if you made it this far, hopefully. I'm not going to jinx myself, but yeah, it's getting cold now too. It's starting to get real cold. Hopefully also we'll be back on some engine stuff soon.